That's nice.
something I just made up there.
For real?
Every time I see the sun.
Every time you sit down, do you come up with something new just off the
Yeah.
top? Is that how you warm up?
Warm up. Oh, that's like this.
Before a gig? Uh-huh. Scales. Most
Yeah.
every great player learned his or her scales.
I don't know.
I wonder.
I don't know. I guess I could name a few that would admit that. Most of it's supposed to be a secret, you know. You're just supposed to, jump off the turnip truck and grab an axe and perform.
Somehow just know. It just
Yeah,
comes to you.
Yeah, natural.
How much do you think, Garth, it is innate, God-given, and how much is, in your case, how much is learned? If you had to...
Well, I suggest for that answer we grab a Bible and thumb through the Old Testament, and it's bound to come up some piece of advice in a good form. The story about the talents, you know.
Do you think that the first time you sat down to a keyboard, it was in you already? Or was it a matter of, let's see what's in me and let's bring it out through education, through learning?
No, I never imagined that I would be assemble an appealing classroom presentation, informative and entertaining at the same time. I never imagined that until I was about 18 or 19, when I was working with songwriters, Don Crawford from Sarnia, and another young fellow. We went in and did demos, and I went to New York City with Don Crawford. We're going back a while, folks. And if we're blessed, we'll remember enough that we can cease and carry on. So I began, this one fellow wanted to know about ear training, being able to, he had progressed to the spot where I could tell him it is possible to hear something, know what it is, and write it down. So I began I just had the original sheets of note paper, what I did lying in the hot sun out there in Broughdale, suburb of London, Ontario. Yeah, it has this sheet recommends you assign numbers to notes.
Okay.
Instead of do, re, mi. See?
Easier to memorize if you assign a number to them, is that the idea?
Well, you know what it is for sure, and you can write it down. Now, in translating do, re, mi, fa back into, let's see, we would go through the numbers anyway. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. See? It's very simple. So I would recommend to him, well, listen to anything. Turn the radio on when you're driving down the street. And then turn it off. What you should have done is find a key note, find the key it's in, and there it is. Now, what is the number of the note of the first note of that melody? So it was this blue moon, it's 5. 5, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 4, 5. And I would wager that Hollywood, the people that do the film scores, do that, you know, irreverently. You know, it's nice when everything's a mystery, you know. No, we don't care what note that is.
As long as it sounds good.
It sounds
and
nice.
the guy that's playing looks like he's having fun.
And if it's someone singing that is making sense or carrying you to another secret small space, then fine, right?
Years ago, this quote came of you. Nobody can play like him anywhere. He could play anything. He could play it better than anybody knew. Once we had a musician of his caliber, we started sounding professional. You know who said that of you?
No.
Levon. He said before you came along, it wasn't so professional. You brought something new to the table.
Oh, listen. Was this published?
It was in the Band of Musical History, the book, the set of
I see.
What's your reaction to that?
Well, I would
statement?
say, I'd call him up and say, friend of yours is telling me about what you said, and it's not published. Could I use it? That's what I would say about that. That's very nice. But,
How many instruments do you play, Garth? Obviously, you play the piano. You're known for the organ, the piano, the keyboard. What else do you love to play still?
a tenor sax.
That's sort of the next thing beyond keyboard, tenor sax.
No, it's somewhere above and beyond all of it, you know. I wouldn't want to get into that because that's one of my specialties, I guess, you know, is the tenor saxophone from 1943 to 1958 in rhythm and blues and rock and roll. I have transcriptions. Well, we had in the Capers back in London, Ontario, we played Honky Tonk, and we played Walking with Mr. Lee. Now, Honky Tonk was played by Clifford Scott, you know, the Bill Doggett group. Clifford Scott on tenor, and Billy Butler did that guitar solo that everybody had to learn, you know, for Honky Tonk. And I still hear it in car commercials. It's a great dance song. Side A and side B. So we played that, and I still like to proclaim, yeah, I know who the hero is. Go and dig Clifford, man. Of that era, he was the crown prince, Clifford Scott. The best. On alto as well, you know. Nice ballad player on alto. So we won't go any further with that.
You're living
there are
down.
others, you know.
Oh,
there are others.
Is there anything new under the sun when it comes to songs? Is it just a rehashing of everything that's been? What makes something new today, after all these years of rock and roll and the blues and country before it?
You mean the next new thing?
When somebody sits down to write a song, how new is that song? Because there's been so many things that kind of sound like that song. How do you create something new with the rich heritage of our past?
Well, it happens, doesn't it? I think so. It has been said. There's nothing happening these days, you know, by someone that should know better. I listen to college radio every night, you know, it goes on till, well, we work at night. Goes on till 5 o'clock, and then they change to classic music for the rest of the day, so it's 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. And I listen to it all the time, from Rosendale, New Paltz College radio. And it's pretty interesting.
Is that in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're living down that way?
Yeah, near Kingston, New York, yeah.
How far is that away from Woodstock?
It's about 43 minutes from where we live to Woodstock.
Do you ever go over and see Levon at his place?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Do you get to talking and playing, or?
Oh, it's usually, I dropped in, a couple things. I've done a couple studio things. I drop in on his show, and I just happened to have my accordion in the trunk, you know, and I hook it up and sit in for maybe the last 5 songs of the night. Done that 2 or 3 times, and then we talk, you know, we go to the round table.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.